Hey Damsels, welcome to another episode of Damsels After Dark. If you're new here, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Kristen.
And in our corner of the internet, we rant, review, obsess, love on, hate on all things books.
Today we'll be reviewing Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan.
And if you're new to our episodes, the first part of our episode, we do a brief synopsis of the book before giving our individual ratings. And then we jump into the spoiler section where we talk about our hated and most loved parts.
If you want to follow along with us, our reading and review schedule will be linked in the description below.
Without further ado,
let's jump into it. Well, this book is a book we decided to read because it is our Fairy Loot books.
Yay, finally.
Yeah, this is the first one we've decided to read. It was a beautiful book. Right? You can kind of see it up there. It is the one. Yeah, it's that one. It's so pretty. It was one of the prettiest books that we've gotten. The sprayed edges is gorgeous. It's an adult book from I believe the January 2025 subscription box. Just beautiful. Yeah. All around, just gorgeous. So
this is one of my favorite Fairy Loot ones.
Yeah. So it's an adult book. That's what it's touted as. However, reading it, I'm just going to let you know right now, it is not an adult book.
No.
It closely resembles a young adult book. I mean, I think it's a for all ages type of book, to be honest. Except the only reason why it's not for all ages is because it still has elements of war and fighting and a little bit of romance in it. I mean, it's romance for sure, but it's not overly descriptive. It's just, it has the love element to it. There might be like one scene where they but it's not descriptive. It's definitely young adult, if anything.
Yeah. Also, it's a standalone in I think it's called the Celestial Games series. There's a bunch of other ones in there, but this is a standalone within that
universe
series, or universe. So it doesn't go to any of the other ones, but if you did like this, know that there are other ones within this world. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, like Kristen said, it's a young adult at its core.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously if you're going to watch the whole episode, you'll know what we think about it, but mostly we wanted to read it because we wanted to read our Fairy Loot books. We wanted to get them off of our shelves if we didn't like them. We wanted to, actually know what is on our shelves if we do like them. We're trying to go about reading these books for the first time. I mean, there's so many we've gotten I just haven't read.
Yeah. And like we already said about it, it's beautiful. So we put that one on our list, and the other one for next week is The Teller of Small Fortunes, which is another one of our Fairy Loot books, which is also really pretty. I think that's my second favorite one. So we really are trying to tick down on these Fairy Loot books.
Yeah.
And it's nice that Fairy Loot is doing standalones, so I don't just have one random book in a series.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it's an interesting read. It is, I believe it's based off of an Asian myth or an Asian folklore. I don't know which one. I just think that's where I read somewhere in one of the descriptions of it. I think it was on Fairy Loot. But essentially this book follows Lian?
I would say Lian.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to not say anybody's name or any of the names of the towns. I'm going to find a way around it if I can help it.
Oh, don't worry. I will say it. And I will butcher it, and I apologize, but I don't know how else to address it, and I'm not going to lie, so.
Yeah. Anyways, we're following the main character, and she, right off the bat, has been poisoned. And so her grandfather, who is the king or the lord of this Tanzian, I think it's called, is that the right name?
I don't remember the name of the city.
Okay, so he's a lord of this city that is used sort of by the immortal gods to protect. Isn't that right? To protect
their world.
It's world.
It's like they're like the boundary of their world where all like the bad things go in and out, the bad demons or whatever.
Yeah, so they're like the door into
the gateway.
Yeah, the gateway into the immortal realm. And anyway, so there's this bargain that's their job, but as a result, it's locked the mortals out of the rest of the mortal world. But so her grandfather is the king of this specific place, and she gets poisoned, and so the only way to rid her of the poison is this pearl lotus, and so he grabs this pearl lotus and gives it to her, and as a result, he has to he essentially gives his life in order for this, because the immortals wanted this. And so she's sort of thrust into now having to play the role of the heir. So she is now head of this kingdom, but then also has to go and pledge her fealty and sort of ask to be the main person for this to the head. But they're looking for the Pearl Lotus still, and they don't know sort of that she has it. And so her role is to become the queen of this, but in her heart of hearts, what she really wants is to break the mortals free from their agreement to the immortals, and she wants to be the one who brings the mortals back, her mortals in her kingdom, back to the regular mortal world. And so that's her goal. That's what she goes up there to, not to pledge fealty to the immortal queen, but to ask to be let go of this bargain. As she's trying to do that, some more evil, nefarious things start happening down at her court. And then so she has to sort of deal with this while befriending and making an alliance with the god of war. So yeah, it's a really high fantasy.
Yeah, it's considered romantic, epic, high fantasy. Enemies to lovers, forced proximity, and found family. That's the tropes of this book. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the found family element, which is funny because I'm going to say something about that and then for the next book. But in this particular book, the found family element, I don't normally, it's not a trope I look for. So when it happens, I'm expecting a past to be brought up. And so found family itself isn't what I dislike. It's the idea of why are we going back in the past and finding family? That's like, I don't want to dredge it up the fucking past. Like, that's how I feel about it. Like if I have any family that I just don't talk to anymore, I don't really care to talk to them in the present time. You know, so it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, so that whole found family thing is a part of this story, enemies, lovers, and I don't know if I consider it enemies to lovers, but I that's what it's listed as.
And to be fair, I'm looking at the Goodreads of it right now. The Goodreads has categorized it as young adult.
Oh, good, because this is not an adult.
It says young adult and adults. I don't know who's labeling these, but no, stop. Also, just to be clear, this book is part of the Daughter of the Moon Goddess world. So I don't know what I was saying before with Celestial Games. I don't know. Oh, Celestial Kingdom is the thing, but it's part of the Moon Goddess world. I know nothing of these books, so I'm just trying to relay the information as best I can. There's like 3 books in the Moon Goddess series. So if you like this book, know that there is a whole other set with it.
Yeah, I think I'm sticking to not reading any of them.
Yeah, so that's it. One thing what I think is really funny though is that it's listed as like, I think that you said it, an epic fantasy, an epic romance.
Yeah, I don't understand how any of that. That's what's labeled. Don't get it.
Same.
I don't.
Really hyped it. Like it really hyped this book, and you know, like the idea of it is really cool. I'm happy to be back in high fantasy land because there's a lot going on here with these goddesses and this.
I don't know about epic though. That word is that I think people throw that word around, and it's not really as epic as they make it sound.
It's pretty plain, this one. Like as far as having read a lot of epic fantasies or high fantasies, this just is kind of run of the mill stationary kind of stuff.
I don't think you should be calling something epic if it's only one book.
Yeah, like
maybe because you were saying it's a whole bunch of books and this is just one part of that epic world. But I don't know. Even this does not make me want to be reading the other ones. Yeah. I didn't get that epicness of the book. I got, okay, that's it.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool. But anyways, yeah, so that's the overall synopsis. We can jump into our individual ratings. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go. I also gave this book a 3 out of 5 compared to the last one for the same reasons. I was split down the middle with this book. I like the idea of this plot. The idea of the plot is good. The execution was boring. I didn't like the characters, but I did dislike one of the characters. I disliked actually a couple of them, but I didn't actually dislike them for the sake of like, oh, I hate them to their core. I disliked them because that's what the author intended. I also dislike the character that the author didn't intend, because you know you're not. Not every day does an author write your FMC to dislike them. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not, in my opinion, I don't think you're supposed to dislike, unless it's intentional, to dislike an FMC. I dislike the FMC to the very beginning, to the very fucking end. Did not like her whatsoever. It was really hard to read because of that. But I try, and I could ignore a situation as long as I could read about the plot. And I did enjoy the plot. There was like one character in this book that I did kind of, sort of, not, I didn't dislike, but I didn't like follow head over heels for. It was the MMC. It was very slow. This book is so slow. It is definitely a book I could really push through a book if I dislike it, but I just couldn't do it because it had nothing. I was so bored. I was falling asleep constantly. I had to put it down so many times, and when I finally started to like it, it was closer to the end of part 1, beginning of part 2. I started to enjoy it. They were so short-lived. I was like, okay, I am starting to like really be bored about this book again. I expected a lot of things to happen that happened. I wasn't thrown off. I wasn't shocked. There was only one part, and that was the end of part 1, beginning of book 2, where I was shocked. I was like, what? I didn't expect that whatsoever. And then the beginning of part 2, I was like starting to really enjoy it. I was like, this is hilarious to me. And then I was just like, that's like, is this the same book I'm reading again towards the end? So, I couldn't take the MMC serious for a good chunk of the time. I had a hard time taking it, like the whole part of the beginning of 1. Part 1, I was like, what the fuck is up with this dude? And then the end of part 1, I was like, okay, I get it.
Yes.
And after that, everything was predictable to me.
Yeah.
After that first betrayal, everything was predictable to me. Like, I'm not going to say who the betrayal was by, but after a betrayal occurred, I was immediately able to unravel a lot of things. I just didn't care to remember most of this book. Like, as soon as I was done with this book and I wrote my notes for this, I immediately wanted to wash it out of my brain and start with something else. Not because I extremely hated it, but not because I liked it either. I felt like it wasted space in my brain. Because nothing major happens in this book, really. Like, if you think about it, like, the one plot that was there, it wasn't very, like, epic, like, so they say. So, like, there was one plot. In my head, if something's epic, there's a lot of things going on that comes to an end with all these things happening around, that every character has a different goal and agenda that does go to the same end result, but like they all have their own major goal to achieve in order to get to a certain end. If you only have 2 main characters to achieve one goal, even though they all have their own side quests, they have like, it's still not epic to me. Yeah. That's super like normal in a book.
Yes.
Like I don't know where the epicness comes from and that it's listed. I mean, an epic romance, I still don't even consider an epic romance because their romance was dull. Their banter was dull. Like, there was some parts where the MMC he was saying some shit that was cracking me up. He was doing some shit that was cracking up, but that was short-lived. Everything was dull, lackluster, boring. I felt, and then it was very predictable. Spice, none. None. Barely any tension. I didn't feel the tension. I felt maybe it was so subtle that maybe it just went over my head because I'm so used to the blatant, like, tension that you could cut with a fucking knife. Like, this was just like, oh, and then I did this, and then I did that, and I looked at him in this way, and it's like, I don't know, that subtleness of a tension just, does not do anything for me. I do not like subtle tension. I'm just like, what's going on here? Everybody's boring. Like even Bridgerton has a little bit more of a fucking tension.
Oh yeah, season 2.
Yeah, like, this is like, oh, you don't even know if they like each other. And then at some point you do, but then it's just like, I don't know. I felt like it was just too tame in comparison to everything else to be considered an adult epic romance. Makes no sense to me. So because of that, it should just be thrown into the young adult and be tamed romance. No epicness, no adultness, no, like, stop calling it that. Like, I don't know where, every time I see anything for this book, that's exactly what they say. Adult epic romance.
Breathtaking.
Stop.
Breathtaking.
You are talking this book up so much that if people decide they want to read it, they're going to be like, no. Just tout it as a young adult fantasy romance inspired by Chinese lore. Bam, easy. If I were to read that, I'd be like, okay, and then I would expect that would have been like, okay, 3.5. Like, I was expecting so much from this book.
Yeah.
And I got nothing. God of War, like that is the MMC. I'm a love of God of War. I'm a love of God of War. I'm a love of Shadow Days. So when you're putting that in there and you say epic romance fantasy, I'm expecting.
Sign me up.
I'm expecting this badass motherfucker coming in, ripping throats, taking names. Like no. I got none of that.
You weren't expecting him to float down on a cloud, like straight up Hercules
yeah.
style.
I didn't want to say that to spoilers, but now you brought it up. I'm gonna mention.
Spoiler.
I'm gonna bring that up right now because I hate it. I hate it. I could not take him serious when you see the God of War coming down on a fucking cloud. That's why I didn't want to say till spoilers because like I got so much to say about that. I'm still gonna talk about the spoilers, but that is the dumbest shit. What a fucking cloud!
He's like ascending down in front of you on a cloud.
I imagine it's like this with his long black hair and just like this coming down on the cloud, standing there like looking at you
the whole time.
I
imagine him like holding his sword just.
Not me. I imagine him like this, and I'm like laughing hysterically. In my head, I was like, "You gotta be shitting me!" If some random God of War came down in a cloud, dude, you know what you look like? You look like Super Mario turtle shell on the cloud, throwing the fucking things off the down. You look stupid. You look dumb.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if there's a way to make that cool.
There's not. Don't ride a fucking cloud. Yeah. So that's all I gotta say about that. I got more to say about that, but we'll end it here because we could be here all day talking about that cloud.
I agree with everything Kristen said. I was less generous in my rating, though. I gave it a 2. The book was just boring. I mean, that's literally what I wrote for my notes, is that it was boring. I do agree, though, that the first part 1 and half of part... half of part 2, because it does get really boring at the end, was really, really good. Yeah. There is a betrayal that happens that I also didn't see. Explained a lot of things in the beginning that I had questions about.
Agreed.
And then some stuff happens. There's like a punishment situation that happened. Like all of this, I was into it. I devoured the first half of this book. The last half, when I tell you that I was listening to this book to finish it, to get up here, that's how long it took me to finish it because I couldn't get into it. And every time I sat down to read this book, I was falling asleep. It's just like, it's like 2 different people wrote this book. The plot is generally kind of the same throughout, but it's like, it's so boring. All of the fun that was happening in the beginning, all of the mystery and the intrigue was just falling by the wayside as we dove deeper into this. And you know, the story did get more complex, I guess. Like, there was a different situation happening. You learned different reveals and secrets, which we all know those are my fucking favorite. Because these were kind of lame, too. So we get these reveals, and it's like, okay. There was, like, another betrayal. I was not like, but I was like, oh. I knew a betrayal was coming. I did not peg the person that ends up being the betrayer to be the betrayer, if that makes sense. So I was a little shocked, but I felt the betrayal coming. I thought it was somebody else, but that's neither here nor there. But and then you get that betrayal, and then you get a reveal at the end, and then it's just again all kind of lackluster. And the MMC he's not horrible. Yeah. He's just the boringest, plainest version of every other MMC that you would like. He has those kind of witty, funny banters. He says the right things, but there's nothing different or spicy or edgier about them. They're the same repeated lines without any of the grit to go behind it. He's just sort of lame. That's how I feel about him. He says good things. He's got all the right lines. Overall, he's lame. I hated the FMC. She's annoying as fuck. There were some moments where I'm like, yeah, you did good. Like, you stood here. You said what you needed to say here. But other times, she's driving me fucking crazy. She was reminding me of, I think it's Amelia. Is that her name? Okay. Yeah, and the Kingdom of the Wicked. She was reminding me of that so much in the beginning, and I hated her. Like, childish, immature, just all of that, hated. And then we even get like another tie-in to Amelia at the end of the book here, and I hated that. I couldn't have been more upset about how that happened. that is probably not the author's fault. That is my own issue of reliving the PTSD from Kingdom of the Wicked.
No, I hated it.
But I still hate this idea of like of what happens, which I'll go into in my hated parts. But overall, yeah, it was just sort of boring. It had good ideas and it had a really cool system of these gods and this. I liked the main story. Let's just say that. I liked the first parts of the story. When it morphed into something different, I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
And that's always a risk to do when you start a story as being something and then you try to change it to be something else at the end. And for me, the risk didn't work here. And in fact, it did the opposite in that it just made the story absolutely boring. The chemistry. So now here, there's a lot of times where we're reading reviews of people on your Goodreads reviews and you're saying, oh, I couldn't get the chemistry. Because I'm a romance girly, I think that maybe it's just my fault that I just fall helplessly for anything. You could give me anything and I'm like, yeah, I love it. But here is the first example where I was like, yeah, I don't get the chemistry here. I don't like them. I'm rethinking of that comment that somebody left. I think it was for Enchantra where she said something about a wet sock. Immediately came to my mind. Like there's more chemistry between a wet sock and me than these two people. This is exactly how I felt here. So good on me to know that you can't just suck me into know every romance. Because I didn't get the chemistry. And even when you learn more about their story, it doesn't make it any better. No. I thought the chemistry of the bickering in the beginning was a little bit better, but then it just kept going like, yeah. Anyways, 2 out of 5 and 0 out of 5 for romance. Or spice. I mean for romance too, but for spice. It is a fade to black. I think there was 2 fade to black moments or something like that. But so, again, this is not an adult. If you're fading to black, I'm going to look you in the eyes when I say this. If you're fading to black, it's not an adult book.
No, it's not.
That is a young adult through and through.
Yeah.
That is a PG-13. If you want an adult, that's an R. I want something. Yeah. It may not even have to be straight up sex. But it's got to be harder foreplay than what's going on here. This was just heavy making out.
I didn't even see the foreplay. Like
they made out and like kissed a neck or like nibbled on a neck. That is 100% PG-13.
Yeah, I do not see adult in this at all. Like from beginning to end, I was like, where's the adult in this?
And even when we're having these war scenes or these battle scenes, which are few and far in between, they weren't overly gory. They're not overly drawn out or detailed. So even that wasn't an adult angle that you can take on this. No, like you're saying, there's no part of this book that's an adult book.
No.
Even some young adult fantasies that I've read are far more gorier and grittier and more sexual attention here than this book. So honestly, I would say this is a G. This is like
Moss, that's a young adult.
Cruel Prince, that's another one that had way more. One Dark Window, like this is a G. This is a Disney movie, is what this is.
Oh, it really was. It probably could be a Disney movie.
Because it's really lighthearted and all aspects of it never felt like it truly touched on anything super deep. It was all very just surface level.
Yeah, they definitely could have made this a Disney movie.
And so, of course, that's ours. But we also like to give in the Goodreads. This is sort of an underground book, though. Not a lot of people have rated it or reviewed it, I guess. But it has a 3.88 out of 7,808 ratings. Oh. Which is not a lot. 3.88 in my opinion seems a little bit high, but I'm wondering if a lot of these people are people who have come over from her other books and maybe like those, because I saw that those were a little bit higher. But I will do a 5-star and then I'll do a 1-star since we're kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
This 1-star is from Ashlyn. I'm sorry, this 5-star is from Ashlyn, and she says, Sue Lynn Tan, The Woman You Are. This was my first Sue Lynn Tan book, and it did not disappoint, and I'll cherish this forever. I'm not even joking or being dramatic. This was the most well-thought-out book I've ever read, and it was beautifully written. Every time I flipped the page, it got better and better. And the world building, the characters, mwah, chef's kiss. Thank you, NetGalley, for the arc.
Well, good for her.
That is one other gripe that I do have with this book. I didn't really think that it was well written.
I don't think there was world building. I'm gonna be honest. Like world building to me is a little bit more than 2 places.
Yes, and Yeah, I would say I wouldn't call it like an epic world building.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to stop. That word needs to stop. Like, I'm so tired of people using that word and it does not apply.
Or even like a 5-star world building, I wouldn't.
This is not.
Like Kristen said, yeah, if you're doing something that's only 2 places, it's not really hard to world build for that.
This book wasn't even that long. Like, I think it was like 400 pages.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do an epic romance with world building and high fantasy, I'm expecting that book to be like 800 pages.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Like that Lord of the Rings up there. You see that?
That's
yeah,
an epic.
like that. Like that. That's epic.
Even if you went with the shorter The Hobbit, like even
that's epic. They travel. They go on a whole adventure. Like,
yeah.
I mean, whatever. I don't know. I just don't like. I dislike because like every time I pick up a book with like epic high fantasy, I'm expecting so much of it. I clear my schedule because I'm like, okay, there's gonna be novellas attached to it because that's what epic is to me. It's an all encompassing fucking ordeal and
yes.
with like lots of complex shit going on and nothing happened. So bitter about it.
Nothing that was epic or any different than the standard run of the mill fantasy book.
I just don't understand. I fucking great anybody who enjoys. Like I said, I could say that all the time. As long as these books aren't like really bad books for the overall like human race.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like great. Everybody has their audience, but like fuck, I can't see the 5 stars in this.
No, yeah, 5 stars is rough.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're defending a lot there.
I always want to go see what they're reading. If you're judging this book to be a 5-star, maybe you just haven't gotten to the element of high fantasy, of epic high fantasy romance that is out there, and this is just like you're dabbling in it.
Yeah, like these are the young adult readers.
Yeah.
Who are truly young adult. Like
Yeah.
you're like 16 and you're reading this. You know, at 16, I might have thought that this was really cool because I wasn't reading epic fantasies at 16. I was dabbling into it.
I was, and I would be sorely disappointed still, especially if you're touting as an epic fantasy. I'm like,
yeah.
No.
When I was reading Twilight, so if I would have read this, I would have been like, wow, this is fucking crazy. But anyways, a 5-star comes from I keep getting these confused. Why is this so difficult for me? The 1 star is from Ava Jones, and she says, going through this was a slog. There is nothing about this story that felt genuine, everything being told to you directly without much depth or intrigue. The love story is there and the only decent, worthwhile aspect, but that's because I'm a heartthrob. Just skip this one. Girl, same. But I also didn't feel this way about it. But yeah, I mean, she pretty much echoed our sentiments.
Yeah. The only reason why I gave it a 3 stars is because the plot as a whole was like the storyline is a good storyline. I just hate the way it was told. The execution of the story was not told well.
Yeah, and through the POV of somebody who felt really childish and immature, did a disservice to the story.
Yeah.
If you would have picked an older, more mature person to view this world through, I think that would have been a better option. Make her 23, make her well established. But it was just like following a 16-year-old around.
Yeah, I get really tired of that. Like, sometimes it's fine, but in my opinion, like when stories do this, if you want to make it to where you want your character to be known as young in the beginning, that's fine. But can we just do a time jump where you meet the character at 16 so you could see what they would have been like, and then just do a time jump, like 5 years later. You could have easily done that in this book.
100%.
Could have easily done it where something happened with her grandfather, and then bam, 5 years later. Now we're dealing with God of War. Like,
yes.
Easy. I would have been like, oh yeah, now she's established, she's getting bitter, and that's where her attitude would have came from. Because, like, why is his attitude there? We can discuss that in spoilers, but, like, right in the beginning, she is fucking entitled, prissy, fucking what the hell?
Yeah, I have that in my hated parts.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get into that.
Yes. So anyways, this one was just not for us, which was such a disappointment because I love the Fairy Loot edition. It's so pretty, but I don't want it on my shelf.
I'm going to keep it on my shelf, though. It's pretty. I'm going to keep it on my shelf. I'll probably keep that on my shelf until, like, if I have no room.
Yeah. It'll definitely be on my, like, list to get rid of when I need the space. Like, oh, I'll just toss that one away. It's so pretty, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, not for us. But yeah, we can move on now to our favorite parts, or our favorite part, to discuss our favorite parts, which is the spoilers. There's not a whole lot of best parts I have. I think I have 3, 4.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
No, go ahead, because then I'll go, because I think I got a little bit more.
Okay. So one of the things that I thought was funny is when Lion is sneaking, or Lion, whatever. The FMC is sneaking around the house because the God of War is gone. So she's at the God of War's house, and she's sneaking around, and she's trying to break into this super secret room, or it's not a room. It's like another house on his property. It's like a room or something, like a cabana situation thing, right? That's how I understood it to be.
I just see it as a wing of the fucking house.
A wing. Maybe a wing.
Like,
maybe I'm a loss for words.
Because he said don't go to the south side.
That's right.
So it could be an estate, because this is an Asian property, so they may have like little sections of the area in their estate. So she could have been like one section, and then she gets out to go to the other section of the whole estate. But I see it more like the wing of the area of the property.
Yeah. See, that's how I saw it. Your first one. I just don't know what you would call that, a house. But anyways, it doesn't matter.
Just the south section of the estate. She's
not to go there. And of course, like any 16-year-old, she wants to go there. So she's out snooping around. But while she's out snooping around, she was told that the God of War would be gone that day.
She's looking for a specific item.
Yes. Yeah. She's looking for whatever's gonna, whatever the bargain was like, the river shield or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's an item that that creates the shield around her land, so that they can't be reunited with the human territory. So she's trying to find that to get rid of it.
Yes. And she thinks it might possibly be here or in that area, or there might be a clue to where it is in that area. But anyways, she's walking around this area. Then she starts to hear music. And so she's like, well, this is beautiful. Let me go over there. And she knows she's going over to the God of War's side of the wing of the manor. And then so she's sneaking around the bushes, or sneaking through it because she's hearing it, she's getting closer. And then she can see somebody sitting on a rock or something, and that's the person who's making the music. And she steps on like a twig or something, whatever. She makes some fucking noise, and the person playing hears it, and then takes the strings of the instrument that he's playing, and like with his magic has them tie her wrists up and her ankles up. I don't know why. I thought this was so fucking funny. It's also pretty stereotypical, like, oh, he's not... Because then you end up finding out it's fucking him, right? And he just wanted a day off.
I could go on a tangent with that.
Oh, I was laughing. He lied, told everybody he was leaving because he just wanted a day off, and here she is sneaking up on him while he's playing his music, relaxing. And then he gets her all tied up, and he says something to the effect of, like, if you wanted a private tour of my bedroom, you should have just let me know. Because I thought all that was pretty funny. And then during this time, she manages somehow to get the fucking key off of his belt. She like grabs her and like throws it and pretends to fall or fix her shoe, or I don't remember the details. She grabs the key, and then she goes over to the house or other wing that she's not supposed to be, and she's in there, and it's like this beautiful place, and it's got this like pond or something in the middle of it that has these beautiful flowers, these lotuses, and she just gently touches one and it like crumbles, and then all hell breaks loose. These like vines come down and try to grab her, and she's trying to run out of there, and she like grabs a dagger from her. She's like slicing her way out, and then the fucking main queen goddess descends with like an army of people, and this whole scene was just fucking fantastic because this is right after she's already bugging him.
This is like
ruins his calming musical session.
He just wanted a fucking day off. That's all I kept thinking of this whole time, was like, this bitch is ruining everything.
Yeah, and so not only did she ruin it, his music thing, now he's like, what the fuck, the queen's here, the army's here, this bitch broke into this house, how did she get the key? Like, this was all just
one day off.
Comic relief to me.
1 day off, that's all he wanted. Like,
and now he's like, I'll take her punishment. Oh, like, this was great. I loved that.
Just wanted a day off.
But this was all in the first half, right? When things were really good. And so after, or I think it's during the time when he's like after he gets a punishment, and then they're standing before the queen. I don't really remember all of this. All I know is that she she asks for the bargain, like, or can we rescind on the bargain? We want to be free. And the queen was like, no, you're not gonna be free. And like some shit breaks down. And
this is that meeting.
Yeah.
This is that meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the betrayal.
Yes. Yeah. When she learns that he betrayed her, was trying to get he was pulling a Hermione. He was trying to get her to fall in love with him so that.
She could take the lotus.
He could take the lotus from him because he needs it because he's sick. Okay, so all that comes out. She's upset. She fucking grabs his sword, which nobody's supposed to be able to touch, but for some reason...
I had a feeling about this, by the way. This is when I started to realize something was going on.
Yeah, but for some reason she's able to fucking grab it from him. She takes it, and then she, like... I don't really know how... I don't remember how she got home.
Oh, I think she cuts him.
Oh no, she does cut him. But she finds whatever animal that had seen them before.
Which also I was like,
the animal also is not supposed to be nice to anybody, but somehow finds her and takes her
I was like,
down.
This is all suspect.
It is, yeah.
Right. Like this is when I started realizing.
Because like, what are the coincidences? Anyways. That's all in the hated
Stupid bug
parts. I hate this book. But anyway, so she grabs the sword. I just thought that was really funny because he was also not expecting her to be able to grab the fucking sword. So he was all like, oh my god.
He didn't think she was going to take it is what it is.
Yeah, take it from, which I loved. He's like, why did you even reach for it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. I like that. And then the final one I have is, okay, so when she's down back in her land, she knows that like the God of War is going to be following her. So she like stacks everything. She hides it all. She has her plan. He comes down and he's like, basically is like, I want to make a deal with you. No more messing around. No more games. Like, let's do this. And of course they both kind of liked each other, but don't want to express those feelings or don't want to like inspect those feelings. And so they're at a crossroads right now. And she basically is like, well, I don't want to fall for you anymore, so I'm just going to put up a guard. So she tells him that she's betrothed to her best friend. And her best friend which is not true. Her best friend has no fucking idea. But then when she tells him, I love that he was instantly like, okay, like we'll play along. And then they go and they have this dinner. And the God of War, first of all, doesn't believe her because he's like, you wouldn't have acted that way if you really loved him, acted the way that you did in my house, you wouldn't have acted that way, blah blah. So he is staring daggers at this dude all night.
He hates him
because I think he generally like he doesn't want to believe it, but like there might be an inkling of like, is it true? Anyway, so he's staring at him all night, and so they get back to the main. Her and her best friend get back to her room, and they're talking it out. And he's like, you gotta tell him it's not true. You gotta call this off or whatever. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. Did you see him looking at me all night? And she basically tells him, she's like, you're a coward. And he's like, yeah, I am a coward. Like, but that's what kept me safe all this time. So please. But what I will say is that he's such a good friend because she doesn't ever do that. And he is still there every time like, yep, that's my betrothed.
The whole time.
The
whole book until the very end. She finally tells him.
Yeah.
He was like, I fucking do it.
But I love that he is immediately like, yo, did you see him looking at me all night? Like, he's trying to kill me, but then still standing by her. And I loved, they had that conversation too about like, she's like, can you really get married to me? Like, let's just really get married.
He's like, why not? I love you as, he's like, but you don't love me. We don't love each other. You
deserve real love, and I deserve real love. Yeah. Like, I thought that was so sweet. He was such a good friend. Oh, I liked him a lot.
He was perfect. I got something to say about that too. Not him particularly, but how he was wronged.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Anyways, those are my best parts, and those are all from the first half of the book.
See, that's good because I have a lot from the second half. Okay, I tried to mix it up because I had a feeling you were gonna like most of the first half.
Yeah. So some of my worst parts, I just have 3 that I listed, or 2. I hate her in the whole beginning about the Immortals. And being in her mind while she's dealing with the God of War, being in his house, she's just so insufferable. She's constantly like, he's a brute, and he slays, and he just drinks children's blood. Like, she has this whole idea of who this person is, not ever having met him, doesn't know anything really about him other than just like fables she's been told her whole life. And the fact that she absolutely blames him for her grandfather's death, which the way he died is just because he was scared. He died because he was scared. He had like a heart situation when he was admitting what he did. Now that shit's funny. Okay, that was probably the funniest death I've ever read about. And she blames him, and it's not even like he didn't even do anything, and she saw it happen. Like it's not like she wasn't there and wasn't a witness. She was walking by as he fucking had a.
He even admitted that he was never gonna kill him.
Yes. But she just doesn't believe him. And he didn't even do anything crazy. He didn't wasn't yelling at him or anything to provoke him. Nobody was to provoke his fear to die, the grandfather's fear. So and she was so insufferable about it. Probably like 90% of the book until she started allowing her feelings for him to develop. She really didn't let this go. And that was driving me crazy. That was so Amelia. That whole personality was just horrible.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And then to toe into that on her being like Amelia, the fact that she is immortal drove me fucking crazy, because the same problem that I had in Kingdom of the Wicked, you have this girl who really has nothing, and she hasn't really she kind of trained. She tried to give her some training. But like you go from nothing and to no real character development to being an immortal to having magic to having all of this. I don't like that. I think it's a cheap cop-out to make somebody who was not really a worthwhile character, to make her to be something bigger than what she was.
And try and hope that is going to make this character worth something.
Yeah, try to make her epic and badass and go... No, I didn't like it. There was an element of it that was kind of cool, where she was having to deal with combining a mortal side that she understood versus a side that she really didn't understand, memories that she was getting back. How that was woven was a little bit cool, but at the end of the day, I don't like this sort of lost memory.
Yeah.
And then you're a fucking badass.
Yeah, that's what goes in with the found family thing. Like, it ties in with that whole... Because if you don't remember who you are as a person, now you're meeting all your family members that supposedly know you, and it's just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this
I
so
will
much.
say, though, that it did make sense why the God of War liked her then. So that at least cleared that up, because there were so many times... In the beginning, I was like, why does he fucking like this child? And then you learn, oh, well, it's fake. But then he comes back down, and you're like, okay, but you're still, like, into her. Yeah. So, like, what's the reason? And so at least this cleared that up for me. Like, okay, well, because this isn't really her, so you knew the immortal her, and that's different. So now
you're just hoping she's going to get back her memories and be who she was.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, I don't like that. So
yeah,
that was a... Oh, and my last one is fuck Aunt Shu.
Yeah.
My hated part. I did not see her as the one who was going to be the betrayer, and so when that came out, I was like, oh, but then everybody like forgave her. Like, we're okay with it. We're like, well, she did what she thought was right, and she did all this. I'm like, bitch, she fucking betrayed you. She poisoned you. I get. She had this whole scheme behind the scenes to do things to benefit herself, but not just herself, but her people. But then was a total betrayer to the grandfather, to our main character, to her son. I didn't like that at all, and I felt like we just sort of allowed her to just get by with that. Still being a likable character at times. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are all my hated parts and liked.
Well, I have some parts that you didn't say, but all the parts you did like, I liked too. So I'm going to kind of just add a little bit to the ones you already did say, and then go on to the ones that you didn't mention that I'm pretty sure you may like too, that you may have just forgotten. So I love the whole betrayal scene. I didn't see it coming, and that really doesn't happen a whole lot. Like, I could kind of figure out what the fuck's going on, but I did not expect the God of War. The Queen, yes. The God of War, no. I did not expect him, because he kept telling her, oh, leave your sword. You know, you got me. And he was always trying to save me. He kept saying, you're under my protection the whole time. And I believed him. I fucking believed him. I would have fallen for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And like, the whole time I'm like, why is this bitch, like, holding back from him? Like, I was getting mad at her. I was like, just embrace it. He's wonderful. And then, like, he does that. I was like, whoa. But all of it comes to a close anyways. It didn't matter. Like, all that betrayal thing, it wasn't really a betrayal in the end. Which kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because the one good part of the book actually doesn't even fucking matter at that point. So I'm pretty upset about taking that away from me, but I still think it's a good part. So I put it in there that, I'm going to keep that as a good part. I think she's stupid for just going back to the one place she knows he's going to find her at. But whatever. She had nowhere else to go, so of course she's going to go back home. So that being said, she goes back home with the sword. Okay, she takes his shit. She rides her fucking mount back home. Okay, that is stupid to go back home, but whatever. She's making plans. She's making things happen. So I get all that, right? What cracks me up about this part is when the God of War comes down to go get her. She's in bed. She's like sleeping. Whatever. He like busts in her fucking room, pissed. Like it takes a couple days.
Yeah.
But he gets there. He's pissed. And they start arguing. She's like, yeah. So now this is when the God of War starts to get on my, ooh, I really like this guy because now his true colors are showing. Because all that time he's being soft and sweet with her. Now that shit is gone. He's like, nah, fuck this. He's like, you stole my shit. And she's like, I stole it. She's like, you stole from me. And she goes, you stole from me first. If I'm a thief, what are you? He goes, not a good one. I came out poorer from our encounter because she stole everything from him. And she starts laughing. She's like, you underestimate these mortals. And he's like, yeah, I won't do that shit again.
Yeah.
So I had me cracking up. Also, everything after that, the God of War is cracking me up because he's just like attached to her now. Mm-hmm. Like the whole part with the dinner where she has to say, oh yeah, Sheng Yin is my betrothal, because she's trying to push the God of War away because he's just latching onto her tighter. Mm-hmm. And it's cracking me up because like he gets to dinner, right, and she sits down and everybody's around her and he's just like, he wants to sit next to her. He's like, no, because we got to talk. And she's just like, no, I had nothing else to say to you. You either take my deal or you get the fuck out or whatever. And he's just like, no, we got to talk. And so like he's looking around, everybody sitting at the table. And he's just like, I'm going to sit beside you. Everybody just scatters and leaves. And she's like, there's no room. And he's like, look, your people are so generous and hospitable. He's like, there's room, there's plenty of room now. And he just sits down next to her and gets all like cozy. And she's just like, oh. Like the idea that he's become the bane of her existence now, I love it. I love it because I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Like, you are, even though I love that she did what she did to him after the betrayal, because I agree with her. Like, after that, how can you trust him?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love what's happening. I'm like, this is great. So I was actually completely into the story at that point. This is like the only reason why I like that book, is because end of part 1, middle part 2, fucking great. The whole betrothal scene, I love that. That's fucking great. The very end. Okay, this is my last part that I actually do like, because I hate the whole Immortal, her turning into Immortal, and she becoming the fucking new. I don't know. I don't like any of that. Okay. I do enjoy though. I do not, still don't like Leanne. I still do not like her. But at the very end, she's getting fucking mad. God of War isn't coming back. Like she's getting irritated that he ain't coming back yet. Like, what the fuck's taking him so long? I feel you because this guy's supposed to love you. You were supposed to find out you guys are supposed to be in, like, tied to each other's hip. Like, and he's like 3 weeks gone, not come back from, like, what the fuck? She can't go to the immortal realm. Mm-hmm. So she's like, what the fuck? So she's like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna tell everybody that we're gonna hold that competition after all for her hand in marriage. So she does. She sends it to him, and she thinking, oh, he gonna be. She forgot about it. She fucking sent this out and forgot about it. And the next fucking morning, Zhangui, God of War, whatever, comes down, busts through the door while she's taking. Okay, so she's like holding counsel for everybody to come in and list their grievances. And somebody comes in, she's like, oh, the God of War's here. She's like, he can wait. He can take a fucking number. And he's like, oh, so that's what I gotta take a fucking number? Like, I'm improvising here. That's not what he says. So she's like, yeah, I'm busy. I got shit to do. You waited 3 weeks to be. He's like, what's this fucking shit with this letter? What's this about? And she's like, oh, I'm holding a competition. And he's like, she's like, something about joining. And he's like, no, I'm here to make you a fucking widow because anybody who wins is gonna die. And everybody's like, oh, shit. So anyways, she's like, well, what are you fucking here for? And he's like, I'm here for you to marry me. You're gonna marry me. And she goes, and he's like, I got other stuff to offer you. You get your kingdom. You know, they can get released back into the wild, pretty much, with other mortals. And she's just like, that's all I need, yeah. And he tells her, nope, I got weapons for you. I got this, I got that. He's like, that's why I was delayed. I was getting all this shit for you to lay at your feet.
Like, well, you could have put a letter in the mail or something.
Nothing. But time there's different.
It is, yeah.
So, like, she's impatient. So, like, I get it. I understand. I probably would have done the same shit to antagonize him.
Oh, yeah.
I understand.
3 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, that's too fucking long.
It's too long.
It's probably only been 3 days.
Probably.
But still, like...
But he knows better. Like,
yeah,
you know time's different.
Send a cloud.
Send a cloud.
Bitch, send the cloud. Like, whatever. Anyways, yeah, so I love that whole thing. They end up being lovey-dovey. You know, she takes his proposal. I love that God of War. That second half of that God of War, I started to really enjoy because I could not understand the first part of God of War. No. I was like, what is with this simping fucking dude for no reason? Like, I don't mind a dude who simps for his girl. But, like, there was no reason for him to simp for her.
And it was so fast.
It was disgusting. Yeah. I was like, I don't like how this God of War, God of fucking War, is coming across as, like, not God of War. Let's just put it that way.
At this little childish girl's feet, just eating it up.
Yeah, it was like, this is suspicious. Yeah. Like, I don't fucking like it. So, like, that second half after he betrayed her and shit was going down, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I like you, guy. Mm-hmm. But I don't like him like that. Like, I just liked his character. Now I was starting to see more depth of his character. Yeah. I like to see that pushback of both of them because now he was irritating her. And I love that. I love that. Like, them going back and forth. But I wanted more of it because she still was quick to trust him. Even though he betrayed her and she didn't know why, she was still quick to trust him. So I didn't like that.
And then they tried to... reason that off by saying because of their bond. Like, yes. I never knew why I was drawn to him so quickly, but it was...
That's stupid.
It's so stupid.
I hate it. But, okay, so now let's get... Good segue. The parts I hate. I fucking hate. So, I hate the cloud riding. Good thing is he only did that once because she mentioned she hated it.
I was about to say, I love that she hated it. Yeah. He was like, well, here's a phoenix.
Yeah, I love the phoenix. Yeah. So, like, I'm glad the cloud went away instantly because I could not. I was like, please don't the cloud transportation be a thing. I really dislike the FMZ. So I'm going to kind of shorten why I disliked her. The whole fucking 1 day off thing. Like, 1 day off? You couldn't calm the fuck down? And the reason why I say this is because there was no reason. She wanted to win him over. To make him an ally in her discussion with the queen, who is her mother. But you don't know that yet. So she wanted to talk to the queen to make her case. She was trying to make the God of War an ally in her side so that... Why? How are you making him an ally when you're doing this shit?
Yeah.
That don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, you're stealing keys from him. You're breaking into places he specifically told you not to.
I don't fucking understand. Do not get it. So, like, that pisses me off. The 1 day off he has, you're wrecking his house. Like, what, bitch? Calm down. So, like, yeah, you have me in here screaming. He just wanted to relax. Like, in big caps, all caps. Like, yeah, the constant back and forth drove me nuts. Yeah, that's pretty much it for why I didn't like her. The whole amnesia thing. I'm so sick of the amnesia thing. Like, the Kingdom of the Wicked, this book. There's been a couple other books where I just did not know my past. But now I know it. And, like, can we not do that? I hate that.
I'm so fucking magical.
And now all of a sudden, I just come back with all my powers. Yeah. Like, I absolutely fucking hate this whole amnesia thing. Mm-hmm. It's amnesia. That's how I think it is. I don't know if it really is, but... I also hated that Aunt Shu used her one son, her good son, Shengyan, to allow Dalian, her real son, her shit son, to take his body and use it to host and possibly kill him. Like, she talked him into doing this. That's a shitty fucking mother. Oh, fuck. I hate shitty mother tropes, too. Like, I absolutely hate it. And then he still loved her. The only reason why he came to, which actually saved all of them, mind you, is because Dalian, in Shengyan's body, hit Aunt Shu in the face. And so, like, he came to prevent it from happening. And so that little time that he gave them allowed them all to, like, go after Dalian. So yeah, I absolutely fucking hate it. I can't fucking stand it. I knew Dalian too was going to be the reason why the heir and Shu's oldest had died. It made total fucking sense. I thought he actually killed her. I thought he was the one who killed her. But it ended up being that he was the one who just watched her die. She was dying. And he didn't do anything about it. Yeah. Obviously, like, I knew he was a part of that. That was an easy thing. I hate him. So I can't stand him. Yeah. He just made everything fucking horrible. But yeah, that's all. I just have one quote that I really, really, really liked in this whole fucking thing. I do like, there's a couple quotes I do like, but I like what Zhang Wei says to Lian. He says, I've chased you across skies and earth to the netherworld itself. I'll never let you go again. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
That is so sweet.
That's so sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much, that embodies this whole book.
Yeah.
Like, all this was about the god of war trying to save Lian, and they end in the immortal side, and she ends up having to go to the mortal realm to get better so that they both could live because they were both dying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I love that whole story plot line.
Yeah, that's a really cool one.
I just wish there was something that would have been epic if they would have expanded on the immortal world and the immortal battle, but I feel like maybe that's in another book. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking short.
It felt really long.
It felt really long, yeah. But it was not that big of a book to be considered epic. There wasn't a whole lot going on to be considered epic, and I felt like
just a lot of tired, overused, and lazy tropes.
Yeah.
That riddled this book that I think did a huge disservice to it. Because this could have been good. I mean, the idea is really cool. What I would have liked more is more expounding on part 1. Like, I like that he took whippings for her, and then he was being whipped, but then she came in and took some whips. Like, I liked that. That all felt really cool. This sort of storyline of not the whipping, but the, like, I don't know, her, like, standing up to gods for this god, and, like, I thought that was gonna be sort of their back and forth, even, and then the betrayal, and he was gonna, like, come and win his way back into her heart, but it ruins it when you completely change the storyline to be that, like, well, they were always kind of together. Yeah. And they always had a story, so it makes anything that he did in the beginning less impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well,
it didn't matter. Like, it took away that betrayal, and like whatever.
Took away the betrayal. It took away the significance I felt of him taking a punishment for Immortal.
Because it was all planned.
It was all planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, not our cup of tea. Unfortunately.
No.
I
would not read it again. I don't even know if I would recommend it to any of my friends.
No, I would not. I just generally not. I mean, with a 2, I can't be like, yeah, here, read this book. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Well, see, the thing is like, I'll get people who are like, hey, I like these types of books, and I'd be like, well, if you like retellings of lore and myths and fantasy from different cultures, I'd be like, read this. I know there's people who do like that stuff, so that I would recommend it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't know, like, reading coming out of our comfy spot in the fantasy book realm. When we read these types of books, it's always nice to know, like, hey, there may be somebody out there that, hey, I read this book, I didn't like it, but you might,
Yeah, I mean, there are people who gave it 5 stars, so
yeah.
There are people who do like it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, that is it for this one. Our basic run-of-the-mill, it was okay. But so for next week, we are doing another Fairy Loot book. It's The Teller of Small Fortunes.
Yes, by Julie Leon.
We're excited for that one. That is actually another Asian written book. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fun to have 2 back-to-back, which somehow we always manage to, like, intermingle some themes of a book. It's weird how that happens. But anyways, we will see you here next week for The Teller of Small Fortunes. Bye.